Alright, so we are halfway through tidying up these caster supports, or like the corner braces that go inside the engine bay that live here. They attach rods that connect to the suspension so that you can adjust caster and everything stays kind of in line. I managed to tidy up the cross brace and put that in place, and that's come up really nice. The steering rack is finished and back together, which is really wonderful. I've got the lower swing arm in place. Everything's gone back together super well, and it looks nice and tidy, which is more important, because if someone ever looks under this car and they want to do some work, I'd like them to, not have to worry about dealing with grease and crud everywhere. So we're going to finish off these two corner pieces and get them installed. Alright, that should be cool now. So I cleaned up these really good, again with a scourer and some, heavy duty degreaser, and they've come up really, really good. I then hit them with the rust converter, and instead of just using the normal aerosol rust converter, the rust was a little bit more kind of hard to reach in certain areas, like in here, right down in there. So the actual rust converter liquid that you brush on worked really, really well. I put that on, I leave it sit for about half hour, and all the rust turned black. You can see that it's done its job there. This is now ready for the aerosol rust converter, just as an extra step. On top of that, this does work as a primer, so that's why I'm using it. And then we'll put some color on it. I'm not sure what we're going to use yet. Chances are it's just going to be the underbody spray again. It seems to be working well for me, which is great. So let's get this rust converted a second time and some paint on it. And that's all it needs. Just one coat to get it covered nicely. The rust has been converted, it's nice and clean, that's ready when it dries to go back onto the car, so we'll do the other one. So we've also gone and cleaned up the rods that control the caster that connect to those pieces. The rubbers are, again, awesome, so I don't have to replace those, which is great. I've cleaned up all of the little rubber slotty bits. The rods themselves, these have just been painted in the sanded back, tidied up, got rid of all the gunge, and coated in the rust converter primer. I don't want them to have that texturized feel to them with the underbody, because there's big threads on here and whatnot, and it's just how it's going to be. So we'll get these put back together, kind of the front half anyway, and then when the other pieces are back in the car, we'll put these on the rest of the way. Now I'm going to leave all the bolts pretty loose so that I can adjust it when I'm trying to put the sway bar in and connect it all together. If I do it too tight, it's just going to be impossible to sort out. Now I don't want to tighten this up right now because if I do, this is going to twist with the force. So I'm going to wait until these are connected and bolted down, which I'll probably do right now, and then I can tighten this front one back up. Alright, that's all put together nicely. So I'm not going to tighten these up tight even still. I'm going to wait till the sway bar's all in place. Let's do the other side and then get onto the sway bar. Now this is going to be a very similar process. It's a quick cleanup of any kind of surface gunge and stuff. Then it's going to get hit with the rust converter primer, and that's it. Then we can put it back in. I just got to take off the little bushing on the end here to do this. So let's get at it. I'm going to get these replaced for the price of a pair of new ones, which is very cheap. There's no point me kind of cleaning these up and putting them back on the car. I will put them back on now just so that everything can stay in place. But this week I'll probably jump on eBay and get myself a new set of these bad boys. This is just some wax and grease remover to get rid of any of the degreaser spray, and that'll give me good adhesion for the rust converter. These are the rubbers where the sway bar sits. Again, really good condition, really happy with them. So I'm going to reuse them. Now when trying to do this one up, which is the caster rod, you're not going to be able to get to this bolt because it's on a big angle. It's not the end of the world. Just lift the suspension up really high and it changes the angle of that bolt, and then you can fit your socket from this angle and tighten her up. So now I've just got to tighten everything up by hand. We're good to go. Awesome, so that's now all bolted up really well. That's pretty much it. I'm going to quickly put some split pins through all these nuts, and that's going to do it for the front Crossmember sway bar, corner piece bit, steering rack. I don't know what all these pieces are called, but regardless, they're in and they're looking schmicko.